Here we go. So I have I still have the Schwinn 470 elliptical. This is the owner's manual. I bought this in approximately July, August 2019, and I assembled it for the first time. I started on August 4th and ended on August 5th of 2019. So over 4 years ago, but barely over 4 years ago. And it malfunctioned, kind of stopped working this past Monday, which is 7 August 2019. So, 4 years and what would that be? 2 days after I assembled it for the first time, it stopped working. So I'm going to reflect a little bit. I'll show you what we found was wrong, and I'll reflect on getting it. So up first is what we found. So this is what it looks like taken apart, except for the base frame here. And these are the flywheel. Well, this is the flywheel. And the problem is this part right here. This and this. So the thing essentially holding the flywheel in place, it kind of wobbles is the best descriptor I have for it. And so, which you can't really see here because it'll work fine, and then it starts. So it actually did not have this problem when I first assembled it back in 2019. However, in November 2019, I disassembled it, so took it all apart. So I assembled it in August, took it apart in November, and then we packed it up in a U-Haul and moved it here into my parents' house, Washington State, in November 2019, and I reassembled it at that point. And I used it for a little bit, and then I found that this wobble that's going on here, that was the first time it happened, was like towards the beginning of 2020, and it really wasn't working. And what I found with exercise equipment in the past that I've bought, this is not the first exercise equipment I bought. The first exercise equipment I bought was approximately 2010. It was that bicycle. It's a Proform bicycle, stationary bicycle, still have it. That's my first piece of equipment I bought. And so this wobble happened before, and what I find with the equipment is if I just let it rest, like leave it be, the problem usually goes away. So I didn't use it for a few months. I focused on my running training and running out on at Shoreview Park, where we went today, and on different trails and on the road and stuff like that. And then I came back to it and it was fine. And so then, I could have still used it, but I didn't. It was just a little off. It wasn't like a full-scale problem yet. So now it's a full-scale problem. And so I looked up online, and the part name is, see, I typed it up, Flywheel 8001563. I was listed on Sears parts, like Sears, I think it's a department store. They have a parts website, and it was listed there. However, it's unavailable. So and the Schwinn website can buy the whole elliptical, which is approximately $1,100, $1,100, without tax or delivery or anything, but it does not allow replacement parts to be purchased currently. So know what the replacement part is, but not currently available for purchase, and we do not have the means to fix this and repair this flywheel. Although it is turning better today, currently. Still rattles a little bit. It's not supposed to do that. So what I'm looking at is my dad has offered to take and dispose of it at the dump, and it costs money to take stuff to the dump, and I don't make a whole bunch of money, $30 every other week, so I don't want that opportunity to pass me by, and then have to pay for its disposal myself. So on financial means, it's an option. Why? I started adjusting and running the past 2 days, returning to it tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see how it goes on my body. But I also have these two stationary bicycles. I have a Proform, so this is the first one I bought, approximately 2010. Maybe, I think it was a department store. They have a parts website, and it was listed there. However, it's unavailable. So 2009. I was 2009 plus or minus a year, because it was before I moved out, and I moved and went to college in 2010. So I'm gonna guess 2009-ish. It might have been, or 2008. 2008 or 2009, because I used it for a year or two before I left home. But I also, on August 4, 2019, I assembled in one day. So this, the elliptical took me 2 times to assemble. This one took me 1 day to assemble. It was my Fusion stationary bicycle. So this baby's, I had it set up when I set that up and my elliptical up when I first moved home, and I used both and then favored the elliptical. And so the stationary bicycle got put to the side. So if I get rid of the elliptical, I might pop that one out or the Proform one out and use one of those. So that's a video, potentially, is what happens if I don't keep the elliptical. We'll see. I'll show the new setup. So I'm saying if I don't keep the elliptical, it might be a combination of putting running, stationary bicycle, maybe even like Pilates in my exercise routine instead. Okay, and then, so I talked a little bit about buying it. I bought it through Dick's Sporting Goods in approximately August 2019, and I've talked about assembling it. So this part was, the problem arose after we moved it back, or not back, moved it here for the first time in Washington State in November 2019. And so it was not a problem before moving, and it was a problem after moving. So I'm interpreting that as the part was damaged during transit when moving from California to Washington State. And that might have just been how I packaged it. Right, and it rattled when we were driving over the mountain passes and stuff. Yes. So that drive was approximately Berkeley, California to northern suburbs of Seattle, city of Shoreline, Washington State. Anything else? Yeah, so I've been using it for running training, for my cardio. I do pretty low resistance training on it, so I don't focus on resistance, high resistance. I focus on pace in stride length and speed that matches running outdoors. And, or I have found to translate to running outdoors, and sure enough it does. I've been running pretty good, and most I have since 2012. If I do run tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, then my Monday through Sunday week total will actually be the highest I will have achieved. If I keep running like I have been, distance-wise, it will be the highest distance in a single week since 2012. So we'll see if that happens. But it's been pretty good, but not great for running training. It helps with my breathing and cardio. However, it is not one that, it's not an elliptical I would pair with doing like an hour of running and this elliptical. I would choose an elliptical that's lighter weight and less resistance. So I've been training it more as this instead of road running. So there's that kind of feature, how it's kind of played a role in my running training. And then up last, let's see. And I'll show you one last where the parts are, it's how much money has it saved me. So I bought this because my YMCA membership was about to go up to $66 a month, and there was overlap between me owning this and the price going up on my YMCA membership before I canceled my membership. But taking into account, so it was $1,100 approximately pre-tax, and I had it shipped to the apartment and then assembled it myself back in California. It was in Albany. The price for these past 4 years and 2 days of it working, I didn't use it all the time, so factoring that in, but I used the gym membership more often. The gym membership included all facilities, including locker room. Some of the YMCAs that I could access had a pool, that kind of stuff. So it was a lot more offered than the elliptical. So kind of keeping that into account, and that I didn't use the elliptical for a few months at a time, and that kind of stuff. I came out to approximately, I saved $300 per year on average, using this elliptical instead of having a gym membership. Okay, so it was a good deal. It was worth the investment, that kind of thing, but it might not be part of my training anymore. And so we got done. So this is the casing, one half of the outer casing. The other half is There? No, somewhere. Somewhere here. Oh, it's over here. So here's the other half of the casing. Other part is the base frame kept in place as we're inspecting the flywheel apparatus. My bags and more parts, owner's manual and extra tools, and then some of the pedal pieces and electronic board and water bottle and handlebars and stuff. And so what I'm thinking about is using one of these, pairing that with running. And I've used these bikes and they're good because of where this house is located. I know there's like a hill on this street, and then if I go, you know, half a mile in any direction, or not even half a mile in any direction, like a third of a mile in any direction, it's a uphill or downhill. So there's a bunch of hills. So in my running, my butt has been worked a lot more than it was with the elliptical, and my bicycles work my butt more. So it might actually be a better piece of equipment to use in combination with road running than my elliptical was. So at the moment I'm feeling a little adventurous. And like that might be a good thing. So like maybe running 4 days a week, do a day or two with a stationary bicycle, and if I only wanted to do one day, do a day of Pilates instead. So essentially replacing my elliptical high intensity with another high intensity activity such as running or stationary bicycle, to keep in line with the Tanis diet and my running training. So yeah, that's the update of the state of where the elliptical currently is, which is disassembled and potentially on its way to its graveyard at the dump, possibly. But also a little bit of a reflection and reflecting on this particular elliptical and when it came into my life, and it lasted 4 years and 2 days. I even have documentation of when I assembled it. So 4 years and 2 days it lasted, which is pretty good. Although I did not use it that much. So at my maximum, I was using it 6 days a week, 5 days at 45 minutes and 1 day at a little over an hour, or a little over 45 minutes and a little over an hour. So a little over 45 minutes, 5 days a week, and a little over an hour, 1 day a week. And I was the only person in this house who used it. So, and we've had an elliptical, like my parents did, that lasted longer and I used it more. So, while 4 years is good, 4 years and 2 days is good. For one person using it that much, it's kind of short, especially when I read online that problems started arising around 6 or 7 years for families. I go, I don't know what that is. So maybe it was just this particular elliptical. But yeah, that's where we stand. More to come on the running training adjustments and if I do a stationary bicycle or something instead.